Hey, folks, and welcome to the Daily Ratings Podcast. It's a show where each week we're going to be sitting down with Vincent Daly to get his thoughts on the latest movies he's been watching, both older films and new releases. And don't worry, there's no spoilers. Vince will give a brief review of the movie, share some thoughts, and of course, then rate the film. The daily ratings are always fair, honest, and most importantly, they're consistent. On today's show, Vince will be rating and reviewing. Steven Spielberg is in the room with us today. It is Disclosure Day. We're jumping back to 1977's Close Encounters of a Third Kind. We're then covering 1982's E.T. the Extra-Terrestrial. Tom Cruise is here, also 2005's War of the Worlds, and finally, now in theaters, newly released, Steven Spielberg's new film, Disclosure Day. So, it's Sci-Fi Spielberg. Let's get Vincent Daly in the room, hear what he's got to say about these films. Stay tuned and enjoy the show. Mr. Vincent Daly, how are we doing across the table, my friend?
Thomas, how's it going?
Boy, this is a big week for us.
It's a big week.
I was very excited. Were you excited for it leading up to it? I think you had to be, right?
I was excited. I think it got to a point of just like, I don't know. Almost, I had too many thoughts to put into words.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because
Sure.
these movies are so massive, you know. E.T. alone.
I know,
you
they really
It's like, Christ. But yeah, it was an enjoyable week. We actually, I mean, this week marked the big swing into summer.
Into summer blockbuster.
Yeah, and I feel like in both of our heads, what we've been also marking as like, all right, these are some exciting episodes coming up. So.
I think that's absolutely true. I love that too. I mean, he loves doing blockbusters, Steven Spielberg. I mean, it started with Jaws being one of the first actual summer blockbusters,
Sure.
And he loves to be a summer blockbuster guy. I mean, he really does.
That's a great point.
And then we went sci-fi Spielberg. I think maybe the only one that we could have added to this is Minority Report.
I agree.
If we wanted to get a fifth film in there.
Especially after Disclosure Day, because Disclosure Day encapsulates the almost like conspiracy thriller subgenre that he dips into.
Right,
So,
right.
Absolutely. I was kind of kicking myself Minority Report wasn't in here. And also the connection to War of the Worlds. Like, Tom Cruise connects with Spielberg on Minority Report. He actually comes to Spielberg and say, hey, I'm looking to, do any of these 5 movies, and War of the Worlds was the choice. So
Okay, and we're going to talk about that one for sure. Which one were you most looking forward to out of all 4 of these?
War of the Worlds.
Really?
Yeah, no joke.
We haven't seen a single one, correct?
Well, that's where I'm going to have to backtrack. At the end of last episode, folks, I said that I...
Never seen E.T.
Never seen E.T. E.T. was rated on the site. And so was Close Encounters. I knew Close Encounters was rated, so both of those were kind of jogging my memory on it.
I totally knew that E.T. That did not register when you said that.
Yeah. So... I'll talk about my experience with E.T. in just a second, but...
you were least looking forward to E.T., correct?
No. I think, no joke, probably least looking forward to Disclosure Day.
Yeah, okay. Well, he's in his 70s. Does he still have his fastball? I mean, there's questions to be asked.
Yeah, true. I mean, there's a lot of hype this week around the press circuit that Spielberg is doing.
He's doing so much press for like weeks now.
And people were showing up for Spielberg. I had a pretty crowded theater. Also, my first showing, you texted me. You knew about the cancellation of my showing before I did. But what was your theater like? Was it
crowded, very much crowded.
Okay.
And I went to a Dolby as well.
Yeah,
folks.
right.
I was out. I was on vacation for the past week.
Yeah,
I mean, we got our Masters of the Universe done. We saw it when it opened. Recorded the next night. Had a nice full episode with a new film. But I was in Denver. And I didn't mind. There's so many AMCs around, and I said I need it to be Dolby. Which one has the Dolby? And so Dolby Cinema packed, and that was Sunday night.
Wow,
that was 9. No, that was a 6:30 showing Sunday.
Okay,
so it's not surprising, I guess.
Yeah.
And then I honestly have not seen any of them. I've never seen Close Encounters.
Okay,
I haven't seen E.T. I've seen clips and shots of it, and I know famous scenes because it's E.T.
Yes.
And then War of the Worlds, I remember just like being on the TV once in a while back when still doing cable, but never properly sat down to watch these. And Yeah, I guess that's a bad thing, but as we say, we cut our bones on the podcast. We're just coming up with everybody.
Absolutely. We cut our teeth on the podcast. We, if we haven't watched something, guess what? We're going to do the work to watch it.
Right.
So, that's definitely my comment last week where I was just like, well, don't know if that robs me of some credibility. Clearly it robs my memory of some credibility because I fully watched E.T. and just didn't remember rating it and didn't remember experiencing it.
Oh, man. Okay,
but yeah.
Any opening notes, or do we want to get into it?
No, my only notes were like that the huge amount of hype around this press circuit. I think it's fascinating that Spielberg is a name so synonymous with blockbusters that it feels like people are showing up regardless of the subject matter of Disclosure Day.
Yeah, which is good. I like that.
Yeah. And I'd really be curious. I've tried. Disclosure Day has been a minefield because I've tried to stay away from really like formed critical opinions, like full reviews and whatnot.
Sure.
I have not been able to stay away from the buzz. What the emotional reactions to the film. People claiming they have spiritual awakenings because of the film. Folks, if you could feel the turn of my eyes in my skull. But yeah, it's I haven't been able to stay away from the hype,
And that's fine. That's okay. It's a summer blockbuster.
Yeah.
And you're going to get it. You're going to get the chatter. You're going to get the chatter online.
Exactly.
And again, it does seem like Spielberg really cares about this one. Not that he doesn't care about his films, but you know what I mean? He's hitting it hard, I feel like. And it's good to see. Okay, let's jump back to 1977, the same year as Star Wars. Of course, him and Lucas had the famous bet. I think your movie's going to do better. No, I think your movie's going to do better.
Yep.
And, of course, we know how that worked out in 77 and Star Wars. But this is Spielberg. This is him fresh off of Jaws in 75.
Yes.
So we're 2 years later. And he's getting... hitting sci-fi hard. He's clearly into it from a young age.
Yeah.
Close Encounters of the Third Kind. 2 hours and 18 minutes, rated PG. Vin, you set it up, and we will take this back and forth.
Well, that's a great introduction, Tom. I mean, Close Encounters, a passion project for old Steve, going back to plans in 1973 to develop, just in general, a big science fiction project. Originally, it was called Watch the Skies. Then it was renamed to Kingdom Come, and then finally, our real title here, Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Between those renames are a lot of rewrites, a lot of revisions. Actually, across the board of all of our movies this week, all 4, there are a lot of rewrites in this. I would be curious to, maybe dig up some more interviews with Steven Spielberg to see, like, what were things cut from any of these films, because I think it's pretty fascinating, the ones we get, especially for the more iconic ones, As far as Steve goes, UFOs buzzing in his head for a long time. Real-world reports like Project Blue Book inspired many of the drive-in flicks that, in turn, inspired our young director, himself previously dabbling in the concept with his rookie short film Firelight in 1964. Now a movie lost to time, unfortunately. That would have been the 5th slot, honestly.
That would have been pretty cool.
Yeah, it would have been cool. And while this 4th film has become a classic over the years, definitely a classic when it came out as well, it really latched on for the visuals and the design of the film, he could not have picked a worse year to release it, considering 1977 was dominated by Star Wars and nothing but Star Wars.
Yeah, this came out in 76. It would have punched a lot harder.
Yeah. Definitely first to it. You shoulda, coulda, woulda is the hypotheticals of that. Like, wow, maybe would have that robbed the thunder of Star Wars in some way? Obviously, very different films.
No,
but
it wouldn't have.
No.
I mean, did Sorcerer rob the thunder of Star Wars? Too. I don't think so.
That's fair.
Star Wars was the thunder.
Yeah, very true. Personally, when I watched this film originally, I was pretty sour on it. Close Encounters might spark my imagination in some few areas, but highlights a specific arc to our main character that just kind of irks me and is the backbone of our new release this week as well. Let me rip the Band-Aid, folks. This was originally scored a 48 on the site. little tough one, Steve. Though, like our next film, I don't really remember when I watched it. I really don't remember exactly where I was or what year it was that I watched it.
Well, that means it was 1 year. It was years ago.
Yeah.
And this was before the couch days where we would sit down and catalog films.
Maybe.
This is when I would spit movies out at you and see. So you probably saw it in the early 2000s or something like that.
Possibly. I remember it being a little bit More recent, but I really can't put a date to it, so I don't have like the stand.
It's been at least a decade, at least then.
The real problem,
we've been going.
No, the real problem is our next one, where it's like I'm even watching it. I remember the beats and I remember the unfolding of it. I was just like, wow, I just guess it's the first unofficial Houdini film, you know. That score, though, indicates just one thing: annoyance in the experience that tips the film into something that I would not exactly recommend. And even though there were a lot of aspects I can appreciate in this film, I can also see what made me give it that score originally, because I was kind of annoyed with aspects of this once again.
Okay.
So I know before recording you were pretty hot on this, though, so I feel
Was
like...
I?
Well, you said you were excited to watch.
I was excited to watch because if I just, listening to everyone talk about Spielberg, and I had a rate...
Yeah, right, over the last month, it feels like.
Yeah, but even just years and us being into the movie, the movie podcast stuff for the past how many years. Basically, I always felt like Close Encounters of the Third Kind never got... It's not that it wasn't respected, but it was never in the A-tier Spielberg based on what other people say and how much chatter people talk about Close Encounters. Oftentimes, if you're talking about Spielberg or his top 5 films that he's ever done, it's never in the top 5. It's always that afterthought little bit. It's just like, oh, and Close Encounters, of course. That's also a great movie.
Sure.
That's how I kind of knew what this movie, and it was after Jaws, but it wasn't quite Indiana Jones. It was this muddling period, and so I had just a lot of not high expectation or anything, just interest in seeing it.
Yeah.
So then. Look, I was on vacation. I had it ready to go on the tablet. I tried watching it. I tried watching it Monday night, and I couldn't take. It didn't take, and I was like, I don't know if I like this movie. I tried again Tuesday night. It didn't work again. I was like falling asleep to it. It didn't have me, and I was
You're probably exhausted from the day.
Well,
too,
too. I try it Wednesday night, right?
Yeah.
Still doesn't work. Still, I'm just like, man, this is boring, and now I'm getting annoyed. I don't know what happened, though. Thursday morning, I'm up, and I'm up at like 3:45 a.m.
Jesus.
And I'm kind of wide awake, and I said, I'm going to turn this movie on again from the start. And I was hooked. I was completely glued. I'm laying there in my van, and I'm just completely glued to it. Watched it all the way through.
That's great.
And
maybe that's what I need to do.
Maybe. I don't know. And I'm glad I stuck with it. There was a point where I'm saying to myself, maybe I'll just cut this one. I mean, I'm like, hey, Vin will understand. He won't be mad if I don't get a chance to watch it.
Right.
And I'm glad I said, screw it. No, I'm going to watch this film. And
that's good.
I was locked in.
I will say the last 30 minutes of the film, actually, that's a good piece in the War of the Worlds as well. Last 30 minutes transforms quite a bit in these movies. And I think worth it to just like, even if you don't like it by the end, it is worth giving it a shot to get to that end.
Right.
See how it lands with you. So, all right. Well, maybe that'll be a new method. The restart multiple times till you get the right dice roll on,
your motions of the day.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I need to incorporate that method. Close Encounters of the Third Kind is an extraterrestrial sci-fi mystery mixed with an unusually heavy family drama. The film tries to show Spielberg's take on what a real reaction to aliens might look like, albeit wrapped up in a late 70s shell. All around the world, chance encounters and unexplainable events spark the imagination of humankind with one question: what's really out there? Richard Dreyfuss plays Roy, an Ohio father that witnesses a very obvious UFO squadron. He kind of stumbles for a little bit in the beginning to what to call it. It's just like, all right, it's a UFO. Like, we're in the 70s. I think you kind of get that. And the witnessing of this event, pretty much just seeing it for himself, quickly turns his life upside down with a new obsession. I'll joke and say that new obsession is a married man having a manic breakdown as an elaborate cover-up for an affair. That's my hot take on this, because it's like, all right, new family, all right. Well, we'll talk more about Dreyfuss. Many who saw the same thing fall into a similar hypnotic trance before the entire town wants answers from a government trying to just put a lid on the situation. These events are not isolated, though, as the global community is gathering extraterrestrial evidence as a means of making contact, and what do you know, these otherworldly visitors might be trying to make contact with us, too. Each person to come in contact with these ships is cursed by strange visions, audio hallucinations, and freaky electronic interference, compelling them to search for the truth behind it all. It's one thing to consider all of humanity's reactions to alien life, but it's another of how that truth sits with each of us individually. I'll start with some good because I think there's a lot of iconic classics, iconic aspects to this, and a lot I was walking away with appreciation after the Spielberg we've covered on the podcast. I'm talking mainly the Indiana Jones episode.
Yeah, because I don't know if we covered a lot of his stuff other than that.
I think
on the
we did,
podcast.
Actually, I know you said this in one of the weeks leading up to this, but I was looking through. We got West Side Story in 2021.
Of course.
We did Munich randomly.
Oh, that's right.
We did all the Indiana Jones. Was Road to Perdition?
You did do Road to Perdition.
Yeah, that was Spielberg.
Wait, was that Spielberg?
Maybe I'm
I don't think that was Spielberg.
Here.
I don't think that was Spielberg.
I think we did a lot of Spielberg.
Oh, you did AI. I believe you did AI.
No, not on the podcast.
Oh, did I dream that? I don't think we did a lot of Spielberg.
All right, well, I mean, it's more than like 3.
Okay. Okay, very true. Yes.
But I think there's a lot of appreciation I do have for this film. Just kind of knowing Spielberg a little bit better as a filmmaker. The filming at Devil's Tower in Wyoming, I feel like, is an incredible set piece. Before recording, folks, I asked Tom if we were going to share his trip out west, because I was going to ask, can we add the Devil's Tower to our trip out west?
Yeah, I think we can.
Can that be in the loop?
We can put it in the loop. I drove through Wyoming too, and I never even thought about. I didn't even look on the map of where Devil's Tower was.
Yeah,
because it would have been a great little side thing.
I definitely don't know where these are in relation to other parts.
Yeah, and I was basically on the border, but that would be great. I did purposely want to say the movie because I was in Badlands, and I wanted to watch it in Badlands because I thought that would be fitting.
Oh, nice.
But it's right there. I would like to go. If we went there together, that would be great.
It would be pretty iconic.
Record a podcast episode right on top of that sucker.
The 5th watch through of this movie. Much of the VFX team is shared with Star Wars. I would say, most importantly, including the legendary Ralph McQuarrie's doing designs. And I mean, folks, just look at any ELO album cover from '77 on out, and you can see how much the culture latched on to these. You go to a country fair, they really like these light up UFOs.
And by the way, this is where I want to give Spielberg a lot of credit because he was visual concept guy a lot. He was concept art, and that to me really impressed me.
Yeah.
Just learning that and how into it was, and a lot of these designs came from his mind.
Absolutely.
Which is kind of wild.
I think that's definitely an aspect of where he's like Lucas. Obviously they are peers in, kind of the school of film that they grew up in, but there's a lot of respect I have for that type of filmmaking, that it's concept first, And of course, what would this movie be without John Williams? I mean, this week is basically a dual Steven Spielberg and John Williams week.
Yes, it is.
Which I think we landed on before. Maybe it was Superman. We've done this before. We've come across a secret John Williams week. He's working a fat synthesizer on this film, the legendary ARP 2500. Soundtrack I do want to dig into a little bit.
Yeah,
I found it very interesting how confident this movie is in big stretches of silence. Our opening, even. Yeah. It's like, I was checking my sound. I was like, is something broken? It's just like this very long ramp of building up the overture to the movie. It does feel like the entire score is a single ramp building to that last 30 minutes for the film's climax. And I just find it interesting. I find it also interesting that with this, not minimalist music, but with this, again, big stretches of silence, it's also part of why I think the family drama in this feels so harsh at times, because it's presented without the very clear John Williams music telling you how to feel in a scene,
Well, double dose. Usually it's not only the John Williams music doing that, and then it's also Spielberg's polish that he puts on difficult things. And he's got that kid aspect to it. And I was thinking the entire time, well, not the entire time. As I was watching it, though, thinking, this is one of Spielberg's most adult films. There's a lot of kids in this movie, but this is highly adult stuff, and it goes dark, and the family stuff gets dark.
It's intense.
And that helped me like the movie more.
Really? Okay.
Because Spielberg often does have that polish to him.
Sure.
And he tries to clean something up, or he does it with Saving Private Ryan, even a lot through the film, and kind of holds your hand a little bit. And, it makes it safe for kids in certain ways, or the explanations. And this goes dark and sad, and appreciated that. And the fact that John Williams could cool his jets once in a while and let the magic flow.
That's part of why I brought it up, because I know this, it was shocking because I almost expected, the worst of
Listen, there's still music in this film, but
Loud music.
And I love how purposeful having music and what kind of music is in it as well. I
Yes.
mean, talk about playing a character.
Yeah, there is a degree here that obviously plays into the narrative piece of it as well.
Right.
That within the story, music is important, for the communication. So I think I want to dig into the family piece because that's where I'm glad to hear that
Please,
actually made this more of a mature story you could dig your teeth into. But it's what originally didn't work for me. It's what I was kind of annoyed by.
Oh, okay. Definitely break down that. Break it down.
As far as the elephant in the room for this original score, real talk, I just didn't like this story about a father losing his mind and abandoning his family. And I just found parts of it really off-putting. This definitely belongs to the area of scores where it's below 50 specifically because I just would not recommend the film. You know what I mean? It's almost no judgment of the quality, the craftsmanship, the filmmaking.
Back what you were thinking about when you rated it first.
Exactly. Would I, Vincent Daly, want to watch this ever again?
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's a pretty chaotic plot. I think even for my second watching experience, it's tough to digest a lot of what's going on in the film at times. And if anything, I was reminded of your take on Del Toro, Tom, where the mix of intense and heartfelt moments clash a little bit, clash poorly.
Oh, okay.
That's kind of where I was at with this. My issue is how that household is a living nightmare. It's a living nightmare. It's not fun to be in the family drama of this. It's a perfect example of where this just clashes poorly is a scene where the father is breaking down in the middle of the night in a shower. And then it still tries to play a little bit of a comedic beat at the end of this scene where it was almost a scene that would pull you to tears,
Yeah.
And then it's still kind of like, oh, he's just a little wacky. Don't be wacky in front of the kids, She's going to take him, she's going to take the kids away to mom, It's just like, I don't know if this is working for me.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm surprised.
That's where I'm at with it.
I liked how dark it was.
Yeah.
I liked how he didn't take the foot off the pedal.
Yeah.
He wanted to say, what if this actually happened? What if this guy was actually experiencing this? What would that happen to home life?
Yeah, it's
and
true.
the fact that he wasn't giving you some type of sugar to help it go down, I found it to be un-Spielberg-like. And now this is very young Spielberg too, which makes I think he's got just more grit back then.
Yes.
And it's funny. It made me appreciate it more while you're just like
turned off by it.
Yeah,
it's not that it's bad quality. A lot of people talk about this is Richard Dreyfuss' best performance.
Yeah.
And I think there's probably a good case for that.
I think there's a very good case for it.
Yeah,
I mean, I knew the mashed potato scene.
Yes.
Because that's famous.
Exactly.
So I've watched that a few times already.
Exactly. But as far as the character specifically, I hate this character. I hate the father.
That's interesting. I see. And so when I was saying that I wasn't sinking in those first few watches and I just couldn't get into it, it wasn't any of that, actually. Okay. And even though I think some people might not like it because they think it's super slow, so they might not be interested. For me, it was a little bit of, as you said, there's more going on. We're following some different paths here.
Oh, yeah.
And you got to keep up and you're trying to time together and how do they tie up together and how do I care? Do I care about this?
Sure. There's basically Dreyfuss, the single mom, and then scientists.
Right.
Kind of three lanes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it goes places, and they all go to different places. So it was that where it wasn't just gelling for me until it did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True. I think that's also indicative of late 70s filmmaking. Exorcist comes to mind, where it's like the first hour you're like, where am I with this? You know what I mean? And then you kind of settle into it. It locks into it.
Never seen it, but I that makes sense.
Sure. What's something you have seen? Sorcerer is a good example of that. Where it's like first hour is like, we got a lot of threads here, and then it all locks in.
Yep.
That I feel like is just like late 70s type of storytelling. So, but Dreyfuss' performance, it's impressive for how this alien madness takes over his life. I could see it being considered his best role for sure, just because there's really not much competition in his career. But for me, so much of this story arc just feels at odds with the wonder Spielberg is trying to communicate. The middle story arc of, we'll call it second act madness, is where the main character just goes a bit crazy is something, unfortunately, we kind of return to for Disclosure Day. And I don't know. It just doesn't exactly work for me.
Okay.
I at least don't enjoy watching it. And specifically, like I said, it was just like, it's kind of a jab at the film, but it's like, you could summarize it with all the intellectual, what would humankind do with encountering extraterrestrial life? It's also, man goes through a manic breakdown and it's just an elaborate cover-up for a cheating scandal. You know what I mean?
It's not that, but you know what I mean? I see how that's where you're going, but...
You're right. That's the bones of the story. But yeah, that just kind of getting it out there. That's explanation of original score. Also, really where I don't exactly sit with it like that today, but there is a similar.
It's
annoyance.
The same feeling, though. Yeah,
exactly. Like I said, though, this was a really good rewatch because I could appreciate Spielberg's touches in the filmmaking. After our Indiana Jones episode, I think there's really some magic in these early days of his films of how the story and how the mystery unfolds. He really has a masterful hand with that. He didn't direct the movie, but I do get a lot of Poltergeist vibes from the creepier moments in the film with the iconic scene of the kid talking in a scary way of the UFOs and whatnot.
Apparently he did direct that film, too.
Yeah.
I mean, there's always rumors going on and off, but apparently, he totally directed Poltergeist.
Yeah. One of those things where he's almost involved in every aspect of it, so you wonder, all right, well, if anything, that's what people sling in back rooms of, the kid not actually directing.
Right, Osgood Perkins coming in a lot.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, that's not true either.
Okay.
Yeah, but not that Osgood Perkins wasn't helping him along a little bit, but yeah, he didn't backseat direct it.
Yeah.
And it was, but going back to, like you said, even just the way he sets up his films and the story that he delves out, even just the directing itself, the camera movements and the staging and blocking, what Spielberg's known for, he's just got it in spades. This movie, what impressed me the most about this film was the scale of it. I didn't expect between Jaws and E.T. to get a film this size from such a young guy still at the time. I mean, when we go to India for a bit, just the sheer scale of extras he's dealing with, and he's still crushing it with the way he's blocking his films and the way his certain scenes and camera movements go. Very impressive. And
love the scene in the UN or wherever it is where they're teaching the sign language to the scientists.
Great. Good stuff.
Yeah, good stuff.
And it helped me... some adult stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just really good shots.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think another aspect here is again, his commitment to wonder. That last 30 minutes shapes the playfulness at the heart of this story. Even if, despite some pretty dark moments throughout it, you kind of, you'd be forgiven if you forgot that wonder was the focus of this,
right.
There's that last 30 minutes, I feel like all of these films have serious payoff in that last chunk, which it's not always something you see.
It is Spielberg, though. He likes to build.
Yeah.
He likes to give you that slam bam bam. Look at Jaws. I mean, he likes to give that to you.
Absolutely.
He's a blockbuster guy.
He's a blockbuster guy. All of my issues, though, purely based on experience, which is outright to ignore so much of the craftsmanship of the film. Tremendous moments, the dinner scene, all the scenes with the scientists. This reminded me a lot of what I was saying with Jurassic Park 1, where it's just this is a great science film.
Right.
This is a discovery
film.
He
gets into this. I like the detail that the scientists are going into, and they have to figure things out, and how do we do this, and the stuff that the government gets into. He goes far in that extra mile and gets into detail, which I was appreciated.
Yeah. Absolutely. And again, one hell of a payoff for its finale. I personally think modern movies have maybe tackled what this film is going for a little better, mainly of the two sides, Arrival for its extraterrestrial piece, and Signs for the family drama piece. And I'll talk about Signs again when we get to War of the Worlds, but that comparison doesn't necessarily make this movie bad. And I feel like out of this week, well, I mean, only 2 movies were rated already. But out of this week, this is going to be the only adjustment on the score. We're going to go ahead and give Close Encounters of the Third Kind, 1977. Bump that to a 68.
Okay. Thank you for saying that.
Yeah.
Okay, a 68%.
48 was unacceptable. As much as I hate this crazy nut job dad that uproots his house.
But Dreyfuss did kill it here.
He did.
I mean, he played the character right. This makes sense that at 68 because this is my score.
Oh,
That's what we're finding out when I like a movie a lot. You give it a 68.
This is Blood Diamond too, right?
Oh, yeah, it's Blood Diamond. It's 3 Godfathers. It's a whole bunch of others.
Man.
Because
I don't mean for that to happen.
No, but I'm fine with the 68. We're cool. I'm cool with the 68.
Cool.
42 or 48, huge problems with that.
Yeah.
So I'm
and
glad...
again, that's what I feel like that score does not recognize the craftsmanship going on.
Yes, and I appreciate you saying that and revisiting this because, again, it really did have me. I almost thought that maybe the end was a little bit too long, to be honest about it. I was loving it, but it was going on.
I did watch director's cut for this one. It's only like 5 minutes more.
Right.
But it rearranges the ending a little bit.
Oh, okay. I might be interested in checking that out.
Yeah, specifically, we don't see one of the interiors. So
okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
At 2 hours and 18 minutes, it probably could have been shaved down a little bit personally.
Okay.
But otherwise, I was vibing with what was going on. I liked how the details that he went into it. I liked the scale of it. I thought the acting was really good from everybody. I probably liked the scientist stuff the most as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see why he wanted to direct Bond so bad at a younger guy and tried to pitch Bond twice and got turned down, or more than twice, honestly.
Yeah,
because there are some shots with the scientist where he likes to go there, and he likes
some R&D.
What I mean by that is, not just R&D, but authority structures. Because it's not just scientists; it's also scientists and governmental agencies.
Yes.
And I think Dreyfuss helmed that position really good as far as what he had to do. I do think it's a little scrambly in the beginning, but when you just get your feet set, you're off to a pretty decent ride with a pretty decent conclusion.
Yeah.
And something interesting. So this was better than what I thought it was going to be. It really was. And I enjoyed it. I did. Not going to give it two shoes.
Okay.
And that's okay. And I love your 68. I really appreciate you bumping that up. That I can say. But shall we keep it going? Yeah. Okay, so...
It's going to be a long episode.
5 years. Oh, yeah, but it's Spielberg. It's okay.
Yeah.
We're good. 5 years later in 1982, E.T. the Extra-Terrestrial comes out. Listen... We know everybody knows E.T.
right.
Again,
That's where you asked me, like, did you enjoy this week? I was just like, well, they're just kind of like massive movies. Like, what do I even have to say about them?
This film, I haven't seen it and seen it because it's E.T. You know what I mean?
You absorb it.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So, but this is the one I didn't get to see this week, though, out of the four. So, very excited for your rewatch / kind of first watch again. Yeah. Set up E.T., take us through it, dying to hear your thoughts on it.
Well, like I said, what can be said about E.T. that hasn't been said? Among a 10-year stretch of landmark films for Steven Spielberg, it might be the one to have the biggest impact on his career and as we see him as a director today. Like we opened up the episode with, the press circuit for Disclosure Day has been so interesting because it's like, man, it's like people are coming out for Spielberg as the name. You know,
why does that surprise you?
I guess you just among film buffs, among people into movies, sure, lead with the director. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We respect the catalog of work. That's not general audiences, and I feel like it's been a very long time since a director has had.
Oh, I disagree.
Yeah,
I think it's changing now. Like
I guess Nolan is a good counterexample to that.
Tarantino.
Yeah, true.
Even to Scorsese as well.
True.
You have to understand, because I think what you think what was true for so long was actors drove it. Like, Leo's in a film.
Yes.
It's going to do good no matter what.
That's kind of what I mean.
That's not really a thing anymore. I think it is the director that drives a blockbuster event now.
Yeah.
Not so much the actor that's in it.
Well, I'm glad to see Spielberg can thrive in that environment.
Yeah, I think he's, 78? And he's, I think he's enjoying himself a little bit.
Yeah. This, of course, gives us the logo for Spielberg's studio Amblin. The concept of E.T. was deeply personal, based on Spielberg's imaginary friend as a child. And while getting this movie made was difficult, most producers of the film calling it a quote-unquote wimpy Walt Disney movie, or this one's the real kicker, quote-unquote not commercially viable.
Oh, adorable.
Yeah,
that is adorable.
Talk about eating your words. Yeah. E.T. would go on to be one of the most financially successful movies of all time, only dethroned by Spielberg's own Jurassic Park in 1993. Now, I'm a bit embarrassed, folks. Like I said at the end of last episode, and I already let the cat out of the bag. I thought I'd never seen this, but little did I know it was already rated on the site with a 55, a puddle.
Okay,
55.
Puddle 55. See, this was an early thing then.
Yeah.
I know this was an early review from you.
Yeah.
That I probably just said E.T. and you're like, well, all right. And it gave it a number. I mean, we're talking years ago.
Right.
Years and years ago. This.
Right.
One other, before we really get started,
Sure.
I want to piggyback off that box office talk.
Oh, sure.
Because it kind of is very topical right now. Because Obsession.
Yes.
Obsession is the first film since E.T. that did better in its second week compared to the first. And then the third week, it did better than the first week. That was the first film since E.T. to do that.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that. And what do you know? Obsession's still the best movie of the year. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm sticking by. I'm hoping it's outdone, you know? I'm hoping there's something better.
Spoiler alerts for later in the episode, I guess.
Yeah, spoiler alert for Odyssey from Nolan. No,
Hey.
I'm joking. Folks, you have my word. I would never score a movie without fully watching it. And I've never done so at any point of doing this, you know, both on the podcast and before when Tom and I were just doing it as a hobby, mainly because I have an example so clear in my mind of when a movie reviewer did this and how much it angered me. So the real question here is, when the hell did I watch this, and why was E.T. the first, you know, unofficial Houdini movie? Like I said, like this is the first very honorable mention of the Houdini film.
And it's E.T. Like, it's so ridiculous.
Exactly.
So ridiculous.
Yeah. Luckily, my memory was jogged pretty quick watching this, but I would say, unfortunately, for the film, I'm really not walking away with a lot of new appreciation. This one was kind of, again, whether it's absorbed through the culture or just it's that iconic, I feel like watching this was like a fifth time watching it, even though it was probably only the second or third.
Yep.
So, E.T. the Extra-Terrestrial is a family sci-fi story that pulls from select pieces of Spielberg's own family life and crafts a story where imagination becomes reality to deliver the true meaning of family. Young Elliot is the middle sibling of 3 in a broken family trying their best to stay together. His older brother Robert and his younger sister Gertie don't always agree with Elliot's maturity, but will have to back him once the cat's out of the bag. The secret is out of this world, however, as Elliot has taken in a big-eye, leathery creature from the backyard that turns out to be an alien stranded on Earth without any way back home. E.T. forms a special connection with Elliot and has so many surprises yet to show him, from telekinetic powers to miraculous healing abilities. The more he reveals his true nature to the boy, though, the more they become emotionally locked to each other's well-being. And what do you know? We get a little bit of second act madness in there as well. He has a wacky scene where he's in school, kind of losing any friends he has. Real Richard Dreyfuss moment. When they make a device together designed for E.T. to, get ready for it, phone home, they quickly grab the attention of the many feds tracking his movements and risk separating a bond that has become stronger than anyone could imagine. The ripples of this film cannot be understated.
Yeah.
Culturally, this bridged the gap for family-friendly movies in the 80s to be seen as financial gold mines, and then that in turn the genre to really explode in the decades after. The story doesn't really tiptoe around Elliot's mother's divorce, which I think paved the way for more serious plot beats to be the pinch of salt in a good kids movie. We always talk about of just like,
you need to have some adult stuff in there.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be 50-50, but there needs to be some kind of enjoyment there.
And it's not just for enjoyment for adults. I think one reason why this stuck with kids so much is because kids want to be adults. Kids want to be respected and be grown-ups, kind
Absolutely.
of. And so when you give them that and more adult theming, it's something that they can latch onto and really like.
Yeah, for sure. And who cares if Star Wars beat out Spielberg in the box office of 77, because this baby was a money-printing machine.
Sure was.
Pretty much every brand shown within the movie skyrocketed in popularity, and the summer release slot allowed E.T. to thrive in the toy market by Christmas time, as many IPs of the decades attempted to do. I mean, that really piggybacks off of our conversation for Masters of the Universe last week as well. But you know what, Tom? I never really liked E.T.'s design, you know? I think my disconnect is this one is pretty clear, you know?
You creeped out by him?
Nah, just gross.
Okay,
just
yeah,
gross.
he's a little gross, isn't he?
You know, call me crazy. Never wanted a toy of this ball sack looking creature, you know? This video game industry crashing, disgusting little guy.
Here we go, the knives are out. Knives are out. Here we go.
Let's just say Ralph McQuarrie wasn't working on this one. You know? We got a lot cooler alien. I bring this up to say is that I really don't have nostalgia with this movie. And I feel like nostalgia rules the day with this movie.
Yeah.
Whether growing up with it or in more of a kind of an intimate of like the older generation showing younger generations movies and that connection.
It being so big, it's sticking around.
Yes.
Being on VHS still. Yeah.
Absolutely. Toys, all of that. So early on in this movie, I think Spielberg does a good job in understanding the limits of how E.T. looks, shoots him in the shadows a lot of the time. There's like, cat and mouse with the camera work. Anything, again, reminded me a lot of the techniques I praise so much with the CGI in JP1, and it's done 10 years earlier.
Yeah.
So really cool stuff to see Spielberg growing. But after a while, we see every angle on E.T. and I'm sorry, it just never worked for me. His feet are weird. I don't really like how the puppet is just like a cylinder block that doesn't articulate much.
I kind of agree. I've never liked the look of this thing.
Yeah,
I think it's one of the reasons why I've stayed away from the film.
Exactly. I think as a young boy, it wasn't cool, so I wasn't watching it.
It was a generation before us as well.
True. Yeah, exactly. I did not
we had other
have
stuff.
someone to really like introduce me to this film, so to speak.
Right.
Really, my biggest curiosity rewatching this is how E.T. would come off to a modern kid watching this. And thankfully, I think we have some good things to say around that. But I kind of want to pose that question. What do you think
They would like it.
Yeah?
I mean, it depends what else you're showing your kids. I think for a kid and you pop it on, I think it would hit in a certain way.
Okay,
yeah.
True. And I think that's important to consider because obviously right now I'm not going to dig E.T., especially if I didn't dig it when I was a kid.
Right, yeah.
So, I've talked about it many times on the show, though. I do not enjoy kid acting, even though the kid acting might be the greatest accomplishment of the whole film. This is, again, just where this movie I can respect. I can recognize, where this is an area of quality, just not exactly my bag because of how much focus it is. The kid acting, though, I think it's the reason to watch the movie. The emotion brought out in all three of our children's performances is very impressive. And more importantly, key to how this one-of-a-kind bond is felt beyond this weird puppet. They really have to sell the aspect of, like, these kids' relationship with E.T. is his life force. You know what I mean? And I think that only comes with some good kid acting. I mean, it really would sink the ship otherwise. Even more so than our last movie, Spielberg is also able to take parts of his own kind of not shattered home life, but problematic home life, and reflect that in his movies. And how that home life is built up creates a believable desire to want to escape, to want to go on an adventure with your new alien friend. I feel like the building blocks, again, how this story kind of unfolds everything, really, really great. I like that most of the time, a lot of adults and the authorities are shot either real low or hiding their faces, kind of forcing attention to our kids as the leads. And hey, it's a new day for me. Even though I might hate Drew Barrymore for no good reason, gotta respect the real tears coming out of her. And honestly, all the kids. There's like some great, like, real crying going on.
Main guy Ellie is played by Henry Thomas.
Yep.
And little Drew Barrymore.
Yep.
I mean, Steven Spielberg basically said that, like, she grew up in their house while making this, and after really took her under their wing.
Interesting.
Which is cool. And but yeah, I mean, it is a young Drew Barrymore.
Yeah, I think the reason why I reflected so much on, like, the kid acting and, like, the kid crying was, I mean, it pales in comparison, but, like, the He-Man movie from last week.
Oh, and then the adult's gonna cry.
Yeah, the adult's gonna cry. Like, no one could cry. And it was just like, wow, okay.
It's a damn. We bring it up. Not often. I mean, but getting the kids. One, it is. You better get it right or else it's going to tank your film. And also, it's one of the most difficult things to get right.
Yeah.
Especially when you're dealing this young. Like Chase Infinity in One Battle After Another, that's a little bit different. She's in her teens a little bit more.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Young adult.
Still impressive. And they went through a lot of different actresses to find Chase Infinity. But with this, when you're with the kids, we always bring it back to project to get it done. Almost the best would be Stranger Things, especially in season 1.
Yeah, season 1.
Right?
For sure.
But it is. Your entire movie rests on it.
Yeah.
And it's a very challenging thing.
It is challenging.
And it's Yeah, I'm glad they got it dialed in. Again,
Yeah.
I didn't watch it, but I just know from knowing.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, a perfect example is Drew Barrymore's scene, because they're not that many, but those are some of the most iconic of the film, of like her connection with E.T. and whatnot. So, but honestly, folks, I'm not walking away too different on this one, because it's a movie so iconic you probably feel like you've watched it thousands of times, despite it being such a trendsetter and where I've really valued that aspect in other films. I think E.T. once again is slightly outdone by some newer films. Specific to E.T. Is the 4 decades of family films that it helped pave the way for. I'm not saying that it is doomed to comparison, but I feel like everything that this does right was successfully able to be riffed on by, again, 4 decades of family films that understand the lessons going on here, understand what's going on in the financial piece of this as well. Without being emotionally attached to it as a kid, I think the film can only hit so hard for me, but it still stands as a recommendation once again for how much of Spielberg's soul is in this project, and I feel like that's an important thing to note for our director episode. We're going to go ahead and give E.T. the Extra-Terrestrial 1982. The old score was a 55. It is still a 55.
55%. I'm not too surprised on this, because I'm glad that you kept it above maybe still something to check out.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot there. And I think it's important to see like where there's still Steven Spielberg isms in this. In lesser hands of a director, it probably would be a worse film.
Yeah, absolutely.
So watch it for Spielberg and watch it for other things, even young Drew Barrymore.
Yeah.
But there's something there. I would still show kids this today.
Yeah,
because I do think it would hit in a certain way. And we just kind of missed it, honestly.
Right, and maybe not every adult, but for the film buffs, it really is like knowing Spielberg's story, knowing his childhood, maybe even
yes.
if you're informed by just the Fablemans alone, not like the interviews and everything like that. There's so much here that you look at and it's like, oh wow, he's kind of processing this,
coming through the heart, big time
in his craft, in his art. So
okay, all right, so 55% for E.T. the Extra-Terrestrial. What do you think of the name? The reiteration, basically, just E.T.
Yeah. I guess did people in 82 know what an extraterrestrial was? Was that word in the lexicon?
Well, it was a big. I mean, you had Alf. It's not the only thing going on.
Shit, I forgot about Alf. Another scary one.
No, not at all. No, Alf is cool. Alf is not scary. Another thing too, as I said, in 1977, Spielberg had the concept going on for the art and the aliens and things like that.
Yes.
You really just think kind of E.T. just seems like a step backwards. And maybe it's like, well, it's a kid's film, whatever.
Like VFX wise, or
no, like the design of the creature.
Oh, got it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm still just a little bit shocked.
It's leathery.
Yeah.
He's too leathery.
Well, okay. All right. 2005. Wow. Tom Cruise.
It's a big jump.
It is a big jump.
It's a big jump, especially because like Spielberg is in such a drastically different place in his life and his movies.
Has made so many films at this point. I mean,
he's had multiple record-breaking films.
But this is him in the mid-2000s. You know what I mean? And he's still Spielberg. He's still doing his thing.
Definitely an era. I mean, we're talking, a big era. Munich, Saving Private Ryan. I mean, there's a lot here.
I think that War of the Worlds, too, I still remember, because I guess I was 10, 9 when this came out.
Okay.
I still remember when it came out, and it was a big deal.
Yeah.
I didn't even look at the box office. I don't remember how well it lived up to the hype, but I do remember the hype was real.
Yeah.
For War of the Worlds, Steven Spielberg, PG-13, and an hour and 57 minutes. So I was surprised on PG-13, and then I thought, well, Spielberg.
Especially that last 30 minutes. It's like, what?
And then I thought Spielberg, though, but I was shocked it was sub 2 hours for a film like this. I watched it. I'm excited to hear what you have to say about it.
I texted you.
For multiple reasons.
I texted you and asked, like, all right, listen, what are you covering? Give me a peek of what you're covering.
You said, are you actually going to watch anything other than Disclosure Day?
Yes.
And I said, already watched War of the Worlds, already watched Close Encounters.
And that was prompted for War of the Worlds because I needed you to see Tom Cruise in this movie. I needed it. So.
Jump into it, man. We'll take it back and forth.
Well, I was very close to not including this movie in this week because War of the Worlds is one of the oldest franchises within movie history for how it's tied to a lot of creative forces. The potential to cover I don't know, something like all 8+ movies adapting H.G. Wells' science fiction classic is huge. And as a big fan of the genre, I think I could still maybe have that as a special down the road. Its history and its ties to cinema are far-reaching, though. Famously, Orson Welles' 1938 radio narration sparked real panic of a real Martian invasion. Infamously, the IP entering into public domain has brought about just a whole slew of terrible B-movies, mockumentaries, and most recently, the universally trashed version with Ice Cube from last year. We still haven't covered that.
I don't know if we have to.
I feel like that would have been such low-hanging fruit. And the DNA of the story can be found in countless projects as a foundational work in the sci-fi genre. If anything, playing into the fascination we have with UFOs to begin with. But few movie adaptations did this concept justice until Spielberg came along in 2005, looking to pivot from his usual soft approach to alien life and, as always, creating yet another blockbuster to his name. War of the Worlds is a sci-fi alien invasion and kind of disaster flick at times.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's got a lot of disaster flick DNA.
Of course, apocalyptic type stuff. Yeah, absolutely.
I guess it just kind of surprised me, like how action sequences were shot and whatnot. It updates many aspects of the classic story it's based on, blockbuster visuals, and B-movie roots at the heart of this movie. And by update, I mean like modernish 2005.
It's not really modern for the era.
Yeah, yes. It's not even like up to date anymore. Humanity has been watched by minds greater than our own for some time now. Across the gulf of space, intellects vast and cool and unsympathetic regard our planet with envious eyes, slowly and surely drawing their plans against us. Despite that grand introduction to the story really narrows its focus on the single father, dock worker, and Brooklyn native Ray, played by prime Tom Cruise.
Is this just before it really goes south for the guy?
Yeah. Is this before or after the Oprah jumping incident? You know?
I think we might. Well, I think we're in the same year-ish, but I think Oprah came after this.
Wow.
Because it was, and then Spielberg cuts them then.
Oh,
and
really?
That's it. Yeah, Spielberg distances himself from Tom Cruise.
Interesting.
So 2005 was kind of the last of it.
Yeah.
Because you had was it 03? No.
02 for Minority.
Right. Yeah. 05 War of the Worlds, and it was 6 with Mission Impossible 3. And I think things start to take a tank after 3.
Very interesting. Yeah. As far as the setup of this, I like that we're zoned in. We're zoned into a very grounded stakes to this, despite a lot going on. Scattered reports of seismic activity and EMP blackouts might be the chatter among the neighborhood. But Ray, he's preoccupied and pretty clueless with his 2 estranged kids dropped off by their mother for the weekend. We really, there's a hot minute we're just dealing with a single dad.
Yes.
This movie.
And boy, do we see some stuff. I mean, to see Tom Cruise dad like that, it's you got to see it. You got to see it to believe it.
And thus the text message. I was like, you got it. We need to talk about Tom Cruise.
By the way, do you remember his ex-wife? Familiar to you?
Oh, the actress?
Yes, Eowyn, Lord of the Rings.
Oh, you should have given me a second. I would have gotten Eowyn.
But when I was going putting this on the back end of the site, and I was like, man, Miranda Otto, crushing it right now, starring alongside Tom Cruise, kind of.
You got right. Awkward reunions aside, shit goes to hell real fast here as these doomsday's whispers become reality for an entire world. Massive tripod harvesters mysteriously rising out of the ground and shooting on sight. What could possibly keep this family together when, before all-out war, Ray was barely keeping up with the job by himself? But this isn't a war any more than there's a war between men and maggots. It's an extermination. Tom, I took one look at this movie and I said, who turns the lights on? You know what I mean? This is the brightest mid-2000s movie I've ever seen in my eyes. It is unreal.
Okay.
The bloom, any scenes in daylight are
really needed to bring this up. For me, distracting. It's blooming, but it's blue. There's a heavy blue light filter going on that Spielberg is using with the lens.
Like my eyes hurt.
It's too much. It's too much.
It's too much.
Yeah, that bothered me. The coloring of the film bothered me.
It's very odd. I wondered at times watching it because if anything, the film is in darkness a lot, so it goes...
I didn't find it to be overly bright. I don't know if I was sitting there being like...
No, dude, this movie, I was like, who turned the lights on? It's like, for real, like, turn the lights off on the set, it's too much light. Everyone has, like, a crazy, like, half-inch rim of light around them. It's nuts.
It's a weird effect that he went for, and I would love to look up at interviews because it was a very deliberate choice.
Yeah.
Clearly, you just don't make those choices because that's what you do.
Yeah.
But it threw me off. And not in a good way.
Yeah, right. I agree. Not in a good way. If anything, kind of making fun of it. like it's fun to poke at. Reminding me maybe a little bit of like The Aviator, where like there's really ballsy decisions done with the digital filmmaking and the coloring of it.
Yes.
Something going on there. I also thought maybe was this a case of, well, he's done something with darkness to smooth out the CGI and the quality of that. Maybe was he trying something on the opposite end of the spectrum, for making these walkers look better? But something I had to bring up.
And there was something. And maybe it was something that he saw in one of the original films.
Yeah,
and he wanted to bring up. Like, I'm sure there's answers to it.
Yeah, maybe.
We just didn't have, like how many hundreds of hours do we have to go through Spielberg stuff? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the thing is, where I was even thinking of to think of a more modern film was last year's Soderbergh's Black Bag.
Oh,
and he had that blooming effect. Now, he didn't have that blue lens, that blue to the film, but he had that blooming effect on everything that was light. And like as I said, it's definitely a creative decision.
It's a choice
from the director, and there's got to be reason behind it.
Yeah. And listen, I can poke fun at some of the visuals in this film, but for the most part, I really do think they did a great job with concepts of this. Really making this Martian sci-fi tech and bringing it to life while not getting lost in it being a very effects-heavy blockbuster. It is an effects-driven blockbuster, but I don't feel like it got lost in the sauce of that. I love the Tri-Walker design in this.
Yes.
Their chilling, bassy howl, the terrifying vaporizing lasers, the human cages layered underneath the shell. All of this are taking the original concepts from H.G. Wells, which look like ridiculous. They look like a little lantern with legs.
Right.
But those three aspects and updating each of them to make it terrifying and make it modern, I think it's fantastic. It's an already iconic design. I would easily buy a miniature of this 2005 version of the Tri-Walkers.
And it being now 21 years old, a lot of aspects of this film still hold up.
Yeah.
In a pretty impressive way.
Yeah.
And kudos, like big kudos. Spielberg does design and concept stuff really well often.
Yeah.
Normally knocks it out of the park, and he did it with this one. He really did.
One thing that I think like his hand as a filmmaker made a difference is a lot of the times the walker, whether it's a forced perspective or they're on a hill or it's just coming out of the ground, we see it at eye level. And I think I was watching it, like a lot of scenes, not jump scares, but we'll introduce like, and a walker's here. It's always at eye level, and I thought that was like a really nice little touch that made a difference.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
That's
of
cool.
just like you're eye to eye with this thing, and it's like okay, and then it's towering above you.
It's also, it's these designs. This is Memnarch.
Yeah, nice.
The Magic the Gathering
flex
card.
your magic knowledge all of a sudden.
You tell me that didn't pop up in your head once.
You're not gonna call them magic nerds, No, that's cool. Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Were you thinking about that actively when watching the film?
No, not Memnarch specifically.
Okay.
Just because, I don't know. I watch a lot of sci-fi stuff, but absolutely, you're right on the money.
It is Memnarch. That's what that card is.
The weird, little hands with big legs.
Yes. Yep.
So that's great. But I would say exactly like the alien invasion drive-in flicks Spielberg grew up with, the fear of this design comes from how just like hopelessly outmatched we are.
It's crazy outmatched.
Yeah, it's like whoa, okay, we're not even doing anything.
At every step, these things are just terrifying. They have all the tools.
Like one could take out the entire human race.
Right. That's exactly what it feels like.
Yeah, and I think movies over the history of film, like they've tackled adapting that aspect of B movies, like Mars Attacks turns it into a satire. I think here Spielberg was very successful at like working it as intended when you play it straight. That this is just like we are hopelessly outmatched, and it's an extermination. And I mean, like, I clearly remember being actually scared of this movie as a child.
Oh,
like,
cool.
Definitely was probably brought to it because it was PG-13.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely shouldn't have been PG-13. Like, I remember so many moments looking through the slits of my fingers as a child.
That's
watching
awesome.
this, you know?
Well, and I will say, to me, there is a little bit of Spielberg polish, a little bit of Spielberg safety netting almost in the film.
Yep.
Like, I still think almost Close Encounters is a more adult film, believe it or not.
Yes.
Even though this is a little bit more
mature.
gory. Right.
Yep.
This is a little bit more gory, but just what's going on, sometimes how the shots are handled, what's shown or not shown.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
There are safety decisions to be made, and that's why it's no matter what, it is rated PG-13, whether we think about it or not.
Yep.
And then you have just absolutely crushing it in this film, Dakota Fanning. Is so good. And
Can I pause on Dakota Fanning?
Okay. You got issues? Okay.
No, not issues. Not issues.
Just pause it for later? Okay.
Not issues. Yeah. But I think especially how the last 30 minutes escalate. This is a scary movie. You know what I mean? This was a frightening movie for me as a kid, and I can definitely get behind like how it's like crazy sharp of an escalation it is for that last 30 minutes, you know?
Yes. I have to say, though, there's a lull in the film for me, and this is what I've been noticing about Spielberg, and we're just watching some of these and thinking back on some of his stuff.
Okay.
And definitely with Close Encounters, where all of a sudden we get to a point and we're really just kind of hanging out for a bit, and things have slowed. And you could tell you spend a lot of money on those action scenes. And there are action scenes on this, and you got a lot of people going on, and you have vehicles being ruined.
Yep.
So I know at some point for a 2-hour film, we're going to have to take our time somewhere along the way.
Right.
Because we have to just keep...
We've ran out of budget.
Right, a little, you know what I mean? A little bit.
Absolutely.
And there is a slow moment that I could almost deal with I could almost have the entire thing cut out.
Really?
To be honest about it. And it's kind of, I don't know, middle towards the end. But it's almost like, well, he better give us a payoff here. I want a payoff of some sort here.
Yeah, you're right. Right. The lull in the pacing.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I agree. Now, the missing link connecting Tom Cruise with Spielberg is, of course, Minority Report in 2002, which we talked about already. But Cruise was eager to collaborate again. I have to say, for not exactly liking the overblown acting and some of the overblown writing in this movie, Tom Cruise is, without a doubt, the best part in this for me.
Whoa! Are you kidding me?
I swear to God.
Jump scare, man.
Yeah.
Whoa! I would have lost if it was a snake. It would have bit me. Wow, good night. That is good news. I can't believe it.
Seeing him try to act like an average dude, and most of all, a single father, was just endlessly entertaining. Endlessly.
Wait, but so were you laughing at him or with him? Were you with him?
There was a balancing act of so bad it's good and like actually enjoying this acting.
Okay, all right.
Just the whole opening 20 minutes is just gold. The hummus joke that he says, he comes outside and they're like looking up at the storm. He has his arms wide open, like they're taking a picture of him. He's like, "What's going on here?" His dad look when his son tries to steal the car or something. And it's like when shit's first going down.
He tells him to get back in the house,
and
Go
then he
be with
does
your
this
sister.
like clap and eye look. It's just like I don't know what inspiration Cruise was pulling from.
It was,
but he was really trying to be a single dad. You know.
Well, nothing beats. I mean, I would give a kidney and all of my money if I could have Tom Cruise make you a peanut butter sandwich.
Wait.
And just to watch that happen in real life.
Right.
But man, again, another great scene of him just losing his mind.
I know. It's just like I think it worked for me on two levels. One, there is some emotion to it that is unpacked throughout the film, which I kind of liked. But it is so bad it's good a little bit, because at least in the performance, because it's like, I know Scientology ass Tom Cruise has never probably made a peanut butter sandwich in his life, and now he has to act. This is the most challenging acting he's ever done. You know, forget the running, forget the stunts.
Well, him or smoking a cigarette, or him trying to be drunk on film.
Yeah.
These are things he just doesn't do.
He just doesn't do.
Right.
So this was like, wow, this is like he's actually trying to act. You know, screw breaking a foot on Mission Impossible, or the plane stunts and whatnot. It's just like, no, this is the most challenging for him, being a normal human being. And that's why it was like really, like I mean that endlessly entertaining. I would have watched this back to back again just for
Tom
that.
Cruise. I would love. Well, we should just cut it where it's just his scenes, the close-ups of him.
Just that 20 minutes. We just come up with something different. It's just like a freak, freak storm that he has to.
I love the guy. I mean, I've gone full circle with him. Liked him, hated him, back to loving him.
Yeah. On the good side of this, again, it's kind of poking fun at it. It's kind of in an ironic sense of enjoying this. But there is some vulnerability of the character across all these movies. We see Spielberg try to make an effort to give us perspective of the everyman. And, the implications of whatever science fiction flavor we have in each of these movies this week might be grand, but we're always experiencing it as our own. And I think, like, once again, there's a craftsmanship that I'm appreciating here of just like how that story exactly unfolds, because there's a lot of ways you could tell the War of the Worlds story. Off the top of my head, Ice Cube at a terminal at a desktop is, I guess, an interpretation of the story. But I think Cruise really took that angle of telling an everyman story in a global apocalyptic sci-fi event, and took that to heart, whether the acting comes off inflated or campy or not or whatever.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's talk about the kids.
Okay, please.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you have like a big take on this, actually.
I do kind of have a big take. It's the kids. Well, let me just say.
Okay.
I think most people would consider Dakota Fanning to be the greatest kid actor of all time.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think there's a good argument for it there.
I probably wouldn't make it, but I can see how you get there.
Sure, right. And it's also a thing of like post-2000s when she's acting, there's a certain degree of like we're more conscious of like kid actors and kid stars, and putting them in like big roles and trying to give them big show moments than like, back in the 70s or 60s or anything like that.
Sure, yeah.
Where they would be like just tossed to TV or something. It's a very big performance here. I think it's a good performance from her. I just feel like when I was watching it, it was connecting some dots in my head and saying like, maybe this is where it started of like, I don't like kid actors to have too much of a character on screen. You know what I mean? Maybe this started the foundation of me not liking some kid acting.
Wow.
Because it's such a big character. It's such, I mean, she's
her personality, she has such a big personality for such a small kid, and you usually don't get that big personality.
More than most
from
characters
a small kid
in the movie.
I know, but she's crushing it. And she's playing that classic young girl, but super smart for her age.
Yeah.
And
smarter than her dad.
Manipulative in a way.
Yeah.
I like this character. And her acting is phenomenal. She's the best actor in this film.
That's true.
I'm sorry, but she
exactly.
is the best actress.
The Tom Cruise one is a hot take. That's fair. That's fair. She is the best actor.
I'm legitimately blown away by her.
Really?
And it's like, I was like, you go, Dakota. Like, she's crushing it here.
I know. I do like the character. It's more so just, again, it's something in my head. I was like, man, could this have started the foundation of just like, I kind of don't like kids being too big of a character.
She's your gateway I hate kid acting moment. But even just like, I like how witty she is, and she can almost be funny, and she's the most intelligent one at times.
Yeah.
But then she's still a kid and still gets scared and still needs her dad then at other times. It's something that we've seen in other things.
Yeah.
But I 100%, I think she is just crushing her on this.
Yeah. Yeah. The other side of this is Justin Chatwin.
Yeah.
Playing the son as well.
Robbie.
Robbie? And he does that, he does that clap
yes.
and then the eyes. He learned that from a single dad somewhere. I feel like I don't have a lot of thoughts on him. Definitely not as big as a performance as Dakota Fanning. I definitely hold a grudge for this actor for the horrific Dragon Ball movie we get in 2009 that it was. It just.
Well, he's getting the roles that he can, Vin.
Right. Yeah. Now I think he's in like 3 episodes of a show.
He's in things. He is in things.
Yeah. But what I want to connect about. Performances, the kid acting, and what I mentioned in Close Encounters, the comparison to Signs. This coming out and being a big early 2000s type of hit, wanting to be a hit, for sure was aiming for that Shyamalan secret sauce, feeling copycat at times of Signs in spots, especially on that interfamily drama. I can't It is a comparison that hurts the film a tiny bit because
Wow.
it feels
Okay.
like Spielberg, not that he's a copycat often, but it feels like he's gunning for the same magic that we get with Mel Gibson breaking down at the table with, in Signs, in itself, a callback to Close Encounters of the Third Kind. It just feels like these strong kid characters are driven by Shyamalan somewhere in the history of the movie.
Well, I think I got to push back.
Okay,
because we're talking about Spielberg, who always makes films in the eyes of him being a little boy, oftentimes.
Okay.
That's not uncommon for Spielberg, and like you just said, too, I mean, Signs is pulling it from Close Encounters, which is Spielberg. I mean, this is just Spielberg's M.O. in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And you got to have a family drama when you're dealing with the apocalypse coming.
That's true.
I just think it's all, I really do. I think that's very heavily part of it.
Yeah.
And not to mention, these are a year apart. I believe Signs is 04, this is 05.
I think actually Signs is 02, so there's definitely a little bit more of a runway.
There's a runway there,
Yeah.
but I don't know.
I think that supports what you're saying. That maybe we're not chasing signs. That's already old news at that point.
Right? Yeah, I just think that it's just so Spielberg heavy to have this family dynamic aspect to it because it's through a lot of films.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like, you know what I mean? Maybe also what you're picking up on, we're just getting it a lot, and oftentimes we get this a lot with sci-fi stuff.
That's true. And it was also in how big of a character Dakota Fanning was. That was just like, man, it feels like they're trying to do Sixth Sense. It feels like the Shyamalan DNA is somewhere in there.
Sure.
Or competition. The pressure of that competition is somewhere in there.
I can understand that.
So, but mainly I would say it holds up because of just a very grounded struggle to keep the family together against impossible odds. I like that arc quite a bit. I like him much more than like him abandoning his family and kissing someone. But there's something here of just like
You like those stakes. And
I
you
do.
Like, yeah.
I
well,
do.
You like look at The Road.
Yeah.
With Vigo and then him just trying to protect his son.
Of course.
It can really hit when you have a good match going on.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the apocalypse is around the corner.
yeah, for real. Believe it or not, though, this movie was kind of the outlier this week in a lot of ways. There's no really happy silver lining to understanding the aliens. No real, attempt to balance comedy or inspire wonder. And I would say, best of all, it lacks that second act madness that I found beef with, unless you can kind of consider Tom Cruise's entire acting performance to really fit in that category. He definitely has some moments where he's going ham, got the crazy eyes,
and then there's moments where he's killing it.
Yeah,
my least favorite part in this is Tim Robbins. Okay, yes. I'm just gonna say it. I really was not jiving with most of this, the Tim Robbins gambit. But
cartoonish as far as like the character type he plays.
Yeah.
That's kind of the second act madness. I mean, it's not a main character, but he's that.
It is. Yeah. And also, that's where it takes a bit of a lull. We are hanging out for a bit.
Okay, so that's what you mean.
Yeah, that is what I mean. I guess that's not a spoiler. I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, he's very much in the cast billing, so.
You pinned it perfectly, though, because it is probably the byproduct of a budgeting issue, ultimately.
And not that it's a budgeting issue. I just think that's how movie making is.
Yeah.
We have these huge action pieces. We need slowdown moments. I just did not like this slowdown moment.
Right.
That's what it came down to.
Yeah.
I just wish we weren't here with this guy.
Yep.
Dealing with this,
even though that sequence,
like I'll take the peanut butter scene 100,000 times,
right?
Over, I got to deal with Tim Robbins.
It's smaller, and it even says more about the family dynamic than the Tim Robbins. Please, it certainly says more about if Tom Cruise has ever made a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Now, sure, I think a valid criticism of this, if you really want to take your knives out on this film, is that what it replaces of all these Spielberg trademarks are campy performances, campy, pulpy disaster action sequences, and B-movie tropes. But not only was I enjoying that a lot more with that, it's something that Spielberg still elevates in his filmmaking. And maybe it just boils down to that super sweet one take he does on the highway scene. I ran that back a couple times.
Ooh.
I mean, it is it's all done digitally because he's like zooming in and out of the car and whatnot, but it's a cool one take. It really is cool. I always enjoy tackling old blockbusters because it boils down to, does this still hold up today? And happily, I think it still does. We're going to go ahead and give War of the Worlds 2005 a 70 on the dot.
Okay, a 70% War of the Worlds 2005. So, I mean, listen, coming into this one, I didn't even know if I knew you saw it. Well, wait, this was rated or not rated?
Not rated, but I definitely watched this as a kid. I mean,
and then scarred and then kind of stayed away from it.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. I mean, I remember, without like too many spoilers, but like the blood creep of the last 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, I remember I was terrified. I was a baby when I was a kid, but I was like a baby with horror.
Yeah, that's cool though.
But it really was. It
was
like,
impactful.
Damn.
So you skipped the whole ET thing and really just went straight for War of the Worlds.
Just getting scarred.
Just explains so much. But this one obviously was going to be the biggest question mark for me because your palette with like Tom Cruise, like put Tom Cruise in a Glencairn glass, and it's like you have to add water, you have to sniff it more, you have to swish around in your mouth, spit it in the bucket, and it's just like, what are you going to get?
What are we going to get
with this distillation of Tom Cruise in this film? So I'm glad it was on the positive end, honestly.
Yeah. I really did enjoy this performance.
And you enjoyed the movie. 70% is a good film.
I think
actually a pretty good film. Yeah.
Absolutely. I remember us kind of talking about Tron Legacy as like a nice benchmark for what like a 70 is for the site.
Well, that's, I mean, yeah.
No? I thought you were all about that.
No, I am, because you and I love the Tron movies, and you either like are in with Tron or you're not. Like the fact that you just said Tron Legacy got a 70%.
It's just making your
Close
skin crawl.
Encounters of the Third Kind got a 68. There's something. I mean,
Tron Legacy didn't piss me off. I'll tell you what. We didn't see Jeff Bridges abandon his. Well, you actually did.
I almost feel like I just feel like it's very difficult for everyone listening to make those dots, because I know how we got here. If there's new listeners, they don't know how we
listen. The 70 on the dot, just marking like this is a good movie. This was a good movie.
65% for us. 65% is a good movie. 75% is a
great movie.
Pretty good movie.
Yeah.
85% is a very good. No, 75% is a very good movie.
Yeah.
80% is an extremely good film, and then 85% is must watch for any audience.
Yeah.
Yes.
But when it comes down to what I'm trying to make about the 70s, like this is, I feel like a nice benchmark of like what I want out of a blockbuster. When a blockbuster works. And this even having an uphill battle in a lot of areas, whether it be. Acting, dialogue, exactly. CGI, so.
Okay, that makes sense. Yes, but you threw in that shockwave of Legacy, because I know what you mean.
The only reason why I did because I remember you having such a great response to it being still at a 70 on the dot.
Well,
which I think was the old score.
Yes, my inner joy it's all there. But again, I guess I'm trying to think of the listeners more on this one. But what did we give Cloud Atlas, by the way? Is that 70?
Well, no, it's rated. Don't know what's rated. Definitely, that needs. Man, the Wachowski's got to make something.
That could have been the fifth movie. This
Throw it into the Toy Story.
Well, with that, folks, let's go ahead and jump on into the producer segment, because here at the Daily Ratings, we are completely listener-supported. We are producer-supported. When anybody sends in a donation into the show and to the Daily Ratings, you are an official, legitimate producer of the Daily Ratings. Because just like in Hollywood, when you financially support a project, you're a producer of the project, and that's how we're doing it here. The cool thing is when you do donate in, and because you're a producer, we want to hear from you. So write in a producer note. And this week, actually it was last week, but since we did an early recording, Matt D, our boy Matt D, came in with a donation. What was it, a movie ticket? Or a movie ticket for you, Vin. And Matt, we always appreciate when he writes in, and we always appreciate when he writes in notes. So Matt D writes, "Hey guys, great episode last week," which would have been not Masters in the Universe.
No, it would have been Backrooms.
Backrooms, okay. "Hey guys, great episode last week. I wanted to add to Vin's definition of a liminal space as a sort of space that's the in-between or slightly off of reality." Because this was me, I was hammering down what does liminal mean, basically.
Yes, absolutely.
The Upside Down in Stranger Things is an explicit in-between or liminal place. Purgatory is liminal by definition. Some characters in The Others and The Sixth Sense live in these limited spaces.
Ooh.
The island and Lost of the town of Twin Peaks are liminal. Silent Hill...
Oh, that's just a quick pause there.
Yeah.
That is a perfect example.
Island and the Lost... what is it?
The lodge in Twin Peaks. Basically the dreamlike space that.
Oh wait, he split it up too. I'm sorry. He goes the island in Lost.
Yes,
the show. I'm sorry. I was reading this as one big thing. Okay, and then Twin Peaks. The
Absolutely.
Lodge. Gotcha.
Yeah. If anything, stylistically, really hits the nail on, like, the emptiness of the space as well.
Okay, very good. So these are pretty good. I like that he threw in Lost in there, because that's totally true. Though some of my favorite liminal spaces are only implied to be apart from our normal reality, the Overlook Hotel from The Shining is likely liminal. Kubrick made the layout of the hotel intentionally confusing. There is no maze in the helicopter shots of the exterior of the building. The hotel manager's office is in the middle of the building, yet has windows to the outside. The hallways don't follow a typical layout, etc. Another one of these would be the 7.5 floor in Being John Malkovich.
Oh,
that's actually a really good one.
Yes!
That's so true.
Wow.
And I'm sure there are many other great examples and some fun ones that would be up for debate as well.
I think phenomenal note.
That'd be a good compilation on the site.
It kind of would.
Liminal films.
Absolutely, because it is a subgenre of the horror, and
it doesn't have to be horror all the time either.
Yeah. But I think this note, Matt, it definitely gets at the heart of, like, what we touched on in the episode of, like, you almost know it when you see it.
So
as
you feel it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's experiential to it. One thing I was kicking myself, Tom, for not bringing up in just, like, communicating what this is to maybe someone that's not in the know. A great recent example is Severance.
Oh, duh.
Yeah.
Duh.
Where the hallways, the endless, the almost like maze-like...
I can't believe we didn't bring up Severance. Yeah.
Exactly. And I, I don't know how, if it's inspired Ben Stiller on that production, but very, very, a popular version of what these horror trends
liminal spaces and what that is.
Yeah, what they're coming into stylistically.
I love it. And I kind of love the genre. I would maybe love to put that in a compilation if we can keep on putting those together. If we have a decent list together. Matt, excellent. Great note. Thanks for giving us those
really
other films.
Note.
Yeah, as far as liminal space goes, we appreciate your donation as well. You continue to be a great producer of the Daily Ratings. Remember, everybody out there listening, that's how we're doing it. It is listener-supported, producer-supported, because we're not going to take a bunch of ad breaks in between all the films that we're doing here. We're not even going to have pop-up ads on the website because we want a cleaner experience. So technically, it's almost like our content is free, but except for the fact that Vin and I have to put in a lot of time, and we also have money to keep this thing going. So, monthly costs and yearly costs. So anyone, if you want to support the Daily Ratings and literally help keep this thing going, please remember that. And if you could, send a donation in. We don't want to do Patreon because that forces you to pay a certain amount of money, and oftentimes you have to give like bonus content and or extra bonus shows. And we don't want to do that because everyone's on their own finances, and everybody might be getting a little bit different value from the Daily Ratings than another person. So that's why this is the value for value model. Are you finding what we're doing valuable? So are you listening to the podcast and enjoying it? Are you checking out the website to see if a movie is worth a watch? We look at that as value in your pocket. So can you just send us some value back in our pocket? And there's people that listen every single week, like a Matt D. And I know for a fact there's people that might listen once a month just because there's one new movie that they're curious about. And that's that kind of different value aspect that we're talking about. So you can donate in whatever amount, big or small. Go to thedailyratings.com and head to the donations page. There's a donations tab there, and everything is laid out there for you. There's some set donations like Space Odyssey donation, buy Vin a movie ticket, but there's the big value for value button there because it's whatever amount. Is it worth a cup of coffee? Is it worth $5 or $10? Is it worth $500, $5,000 if finances are not really a big problem for you? We appreciate it all. It means the world to us. We would love to hear from more of you as well. So again, please do stop by the donations tab on thedailyratings.com and send in a producer note. Questions, comments, critiques, start a conversation, add to a conversation, ask us anything you want. If you're producing, we're going to take the time to read your note and talk to you here in the Producer Thanks segment. You can email us at tom.vin@thedailyratings.com. That's our email address, and that's how we're doing it here. It is value for value, and we're completely listener supported. It's great to see more and more people week after week across the country and even across the globe start to find us. So just remember, it's a lot of time, a lot of effort that Vin and I put into it. We have a blast doing it. We love hanging out week after week. But if you love hanging out week after week, send in a little donation because it means the world. Again, dailyratings.com, head to the donations tab. Okay, let's jump into the theaters. Disclosure Day.
I'm curious of what your thoughts are on this
I've given you nothing on it.
Yeah.
I have given you zero things on it.
I gave you a little bit.
You did give me a little bit, yeah. But just before we started. But still, I was just excited for the event. It was the Spielberg aspect of it. I love that he can still do this at his age.
I'm with you.
I mean, he's still coming out with stuff. Some people think he's on a downward slope. Then you have people like Tarantino, where it's like he's still punching. He's still giving us cool stuff. Tarantino loved his rendition of, or his redo of,
West Side Story.
West Side Story.
He would.
Like, right, he loved it. But then, and then like Ready Player One came out. And people kind of forget about that one, and Bridge of Spies. So it's like, where is Spielberg in this thing?
I definitely forgot about Bridge of Spies.
I know. It's all in theaters, actually. So anyway, and we covered The Fabelmans when it came out a few years ago.
Yep.
So it's not even our first new Spielberg film that we're covering. Something about this one felt a little bit different. And maybe because we're really out of COVID, because Fabelmans was still touched by COVID.
Yes.
It just feels different.
Yep.
And it's also kind of cool. Happy to go see it in Dolby. And Vin, I'm dying to hear what you have to say about it.
I'm dying to hear what you have to say about it.
Well, you set it up. You just tell us the premise, and then we can take it back and forth.
How about you read my notes for me?
Uh-oh.
No.
Oh, buckle in, it sounds like.
Tom, I sat with this film over the last few days, and I almost did want to throw out all of my notes because I feel like I've reflected on this movie so much. I almost wanted to see it a second time to like just really like give it an effort, give everything I could to try to like it. But I went in with little expectations, came out pretty disappointed. And then proceeded to really go crazy once I saw the sentimental garbage people were spewing online about this film.
All right.
I mean, like, absolute garbage. Like, while so much of the experience is competently made, which can't always be said about our geriatric filmmakers, you know what I mean? I'm looking at you, Ridley Scott. God, I saw the second cut of the Dog Stars trailer. Yeah. No faith in that film now.
Yeah.
That movie's going to be so generic. I'll tell you what. Scott does it again. It was a competently made film, but it was also painfully bland, a little tone deaf, and holds its punch in a way that made me think that my time was a little wasted with this.
Okay.
I don't mean to be a bummer. I also know I've talked to you in the past of like, I hate when we do a director episode and only the new one is like the bad one. You know what I mean? It's like not the point of doing these spotlights. I love these directors.
Right. We want to love this film.
Exactly. I want it to be a ramp that the new one is the best one.
Yes. Now, and this one is 2 hours and 25 minutes.
Yeah.
So he is asking for it to sit there for a while, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. But despite not knowing what to expect, the internet, I think, has been pretty good about spoilers here. In fact, I would say the biggest culprit of spoilers was actually the second or third cut of this trailer, in where they actually reveal the look of the alien, which I thought was like unacceptable.
Yeah,
especially when you know the format of this movie.
And the first couple trailers, you think you kind of have it figured out.
Yeah,
you don't have it figured out.
Yeah,
so I actually appreciate the first two cuts.
Absolutely. Yeah, it was the third or whatever, the most recent one.
Right.
Gave away the goods. On the show, even we commented how this had that like little drop of scary that's the key to the draw of these films this week. That Spielberg magic. But maybe the lack of spoilers was because there's not a lot going on here. All of my issues with it boil down to story elements that either could have been done better or desperately needed to be rearranged within the film to give impact. And even down to the very last moments of the film, it left me with just the biggest, okay, sure, I guess,
right.
Feeling, which is far from the tears pouring out of your face that some people have been glazing this film over. Have you come across this?
Yes. Well, no, I've been keeping up with, and it's not everybody. I mean, this is kind of split here with audiences, but there are people, I mean, really just bending at the knee and praising this film.
It's like kind of why people look a little side-eyed at what critic reviews versus audience reviews.
Right. And part of it, I would like to really kind of go through it and look at the age separation of who was loving it and who was like,
for these takes.
It's all right job. I don't know if people are outwardly hating it,
okay,
but there's like, okay, that was an all right film. Maybe I want it more from Steven Spielberg, and then there's people absolutely loving it.
Yeah.
I would like to see the age gap to see if there is an age gap, actually.
Sure.
Because your take on blandness and genericness, I was absolutely feeling.
Okay.
Elements, I was liking this film, by the way. I'm walking away liking this film.
Okay.
It's hard for me to love anything about it other than Emily Blunt's performance and walk away from, I can praise her, and I'm sitting there in the theater going, she absolutely deserves an Oscar nom for this.
Okay.
I was blown away by Emily Blunt. I mean, I'm just continually impressed by her. She's a great actress.
Yeah, absolutely.
But other than that, everything did have a genericness, a blandness that kind of surprised me, and the Spielberg isms that will always be a foundation to his films, where I love the way he films a movie. there were touches on it, but I was expecting more.
Yeah, maybe even more magic.
And so some of the stuff that we're covering, I do maybe think there's age gap stuff where I would like to know if your mind is being blown, maybe because the first time you're actually hearing about any of this, and concept-wise, or even just like, is this a real thing or not, is maybe this film, when this is all over the internet, and has been now for a while, especially in the past 10 years.
Absolutely. I mean, there's a reason why this is called the UFO episode. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's UFOs. What do you mean? You know what I mean?
It's very hot right now.
Yeah.
And maybe it's almost, we're a little oversaturated with it. If you are online even just a little bit, the oversaturation of this exact thing of what's going on here. So mixed with that, and the writer's David Koepp.
Dude.
And it's just,
I know. Like, what is with this guy?
Flip a coin, dude. Flip a coin.
I think
he's amazing sometimes.
He's at a losing average now, though.
It hasn't been great in some of the most recent stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, the big thing now, the rumor on the street is that Spielberg and Koepp are teaming up and going to do a Westworld movie.
Whoa.
And if they treat it really...
I honestly would love that.
If they treat it seriously, this is what I said in the news show. They took Jurassic Park and they made a park about dinosaurs into a phenomenal movie.
Yeah.
So what if they just take a Western and make it into a park and made another phenomenal movie?
Yeah.
That is all to say, we are dealing with a 78...
I would love that as well for covering the old West world. I would watch the show.
It's Spielberg doing a first Western in his entire life, too.
Well, Westworld is a sci-fi at heart. It is the premise of it is like it's a robot theme park that is designed to be a Western.
I know, but it's a Western. You watch a Western. Come on now.
I guess.
All I'm saying, I'm going on this long tangent to just be like, we are dealing, and I don't want to be ageist or anything like that. I love The Irishman. I love Scorsese.
You like these geriatric films.
But no, what I'm saying is, but just when you're 78 and when Koepp is getting older now.
Oh, yeah, true.
That slam bam stuff of what they're getting in the film, again, because it's so heavily online in the past 10 years and only getting more online and more in your face.
Yeah.
It's not 1977 where you're getting some crazy concepts to people for the first time. It's a long way to just saying that. It's not as fresh.
No, and I know what the dots you're connecting as far as like for the people that are over the moon with this movie and like so emotional. Again, I joked, the people calling this a spiritual awakening for them. Maybe it's just because this was like a first type of dive into a movie like this or concepts like this. Maybe
concepts
something like
this,
that.
Yeah,
something like that.
And overall, because we've been steeped in it, that's why it feels generic. Because it is a little bit of rinse repeat, and we are oversaturated a little bit in this market right now. Yeah.
I'm glad we are on the same page, though, because I know you were more hyped for this, just in the nature of, like,
yes, I was,
you sought out, like, a Dolby Theater, to see this on your trip and whatnot. I didn't want to just be a bummer on this movie. I really didn't. And again, the aspect of, like, another director episode where the new release is the bad one, I don't like that.
So you left annoyed? You left feeling like your time was really wasted. Your drive home, you were annoyed.
Yeah, I was outright disappointed.
Okay.
Outright disappointed.
So I'm not quite there. I was disappointed, but because maybe my expectations were higher, I still left saying this is a good movie. When it comes on streaming, I probably will watch it again, but it doesn't have my respect that even I was getting from Close Encounters. It wasn't getting that love of those Spielberg isms, again, that I say is the foundation of his films, because it is him that I found lacking, basically.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, for the setup here, folks, Disclosure Day is a conspiracy thriller and sci-fi mystery around a covered-up truth which compels everyone that comes across it to jump down the rabbit hole of obsession. We open with Josh O'Connor on the run, carrying the mother of all MacGuffins, a mysterious lockbox of dirty secrets that he has to hold until the time is right for full disclosure to the world. Explaining this to his girlfriend swept up in the chaos, he stole the data that he was paid to protect, but once seeing the truth, he had no other choice than to act. While it's unclear just how important of a connection they share, we also snap over to Emily Blunt's character, Margaret Fairchild, a cliché weatherwoman on broadcast news. Inexplicably, she is seemingly blessed or activated with psychic intelligence, now able to peer into the minds and unexplainably knowing every beat of someone's life as if she lived it as her own. 79 years of shadowy secrets stand between her and the answers she seeks, as a private organization led by Colin Firth utilizes unknown technology to keep a tight grasp on what they protect. The goal of our group of rebels, though, full disclosure to the world, and hopefully an understanding of the message at the core of it for all mankind. Despite the global stage, and this is what I was talking about, we talked about with Close Encounters of the Third Kind, of just like how impressive the scope of the movie is.
Great scale.
Yeah. Despite the global stage here, the story that it's kind of playing out on, the film feels unusually small at a lot of the times. And that's not even comparing it to the films we covered this week. I think just in general, this film felt way too small scale. Whether it's flashing over to players in the unfolding story or just the literal scene sizes, I was always taking note of how the scale felt at odds with the global implications of what it's trying to set up simultaneously. This really brings up my first real problem with the story, and that is all around stakes and conflict. I could not stand how every scene in this movie is them stringing you along with some new development in the mystery, only for a gang of black cars and scary-looking cops to show up and proceed to do jack shit. The conflict in this was horrible, was outright horrible, boring, bland, and also inconsequential.
Cat and mouse, basic cat and mouse stuff. Yeah,
it was terrible. There was no threat to it, and it was so rinse and repeat of just like, they find something, and then guess what? The cops show up, and it's just like the same organization of black cars pulling up every time. Like, not only does the tension feel formulaic through this way, most of the time it doesn't present any real threat at all. And I feel like that was a real big failure of the writing in this. That the tension that is supposed to, I mean, it's the antagonist force. It's Colin Firth and everything. Like, it felt so like, okay, they're just going to escape anyway. Like, it's just like, all right.
I think that's a great point, and that does feel small, especially because what is being trying to be disclosed and everything like that, like what the subject matter is so big and so worldwide and huge and impactful that dealing with it with really just Emily Blunt and Josh O'Connor in the cat and mouse game, it just seems almost like there is a bit of a disconnect there.
Yeah.
Where you're not quite giving us the bigness that we want. I think that's a great point. And you're not wrong about the formulaicness of it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why it was stretching long.
Exactly. There's also a scene that, like, cliches irk me about the film. Like, Colin Firth is talking to other, like, defense guys, and they're like, oh, do you need to tap the team? And he's just like, no, we're going to keep it with our organization. It's just like, all right, so that's another thing where it's like it's smaller than what it should feel like, you know? The problem really here is just that we're too separated from the stakes, in part obscured by the mystery, but most of all because they don't connect the dots on the threat. If you don't understand my praise of One Battle After Another, putting Sean Penn, boots on the ground, as center of the conflict, there's no one even to muddy that. He is the conflict. This movie is the total opposite of that. Colin Firth has this device that lets him project into the consciousness of anyone he chooses, but instead of doing anything menacing, anything like really like villainous with this, he just turns around and unleashes a bunch of henchmen that proceed to do nothing of consequence. Rinse and repeat the entire movie. It's just chase scenes with no one's that they're not going to catch him. You know,
I think that's a great point, and because there is something that can happen, there is some type of magic that you can jump off of with the Colin Firth stuff.
Yeah,
it is kind of cool what they're playing out.
Yeah, we don't know the technology,
but how he's using it, what he's using it for, just to find locations. Basically, it is very rinse and repeat. It is. It's a lot of the movie.
Absolutely. Because I've gotten some flack on how much I praise Sean Penn in One Battle After Another.
Oh, okay.
Even by family.
Interesting.
The reason why I praise that so much is, like, again, it kind of the joke of that review is I turn to you and go, no henchmen.
Right, yeah, in the theater.
This is the example of, like, what I'm saying. Like, make your villain the center. I don't need anyone muddying the waters. You know what I mean? If anything, I would love this technology that he uses to kind of, like, remote access people. I would have loved if he remote accessed, like, henchmen to be like, okay, well, it is him. You know what I mean? He is the villain on the ground. You know what I mean? Something there.
Yeah.
You know? Something even strange in the sci-fi.
Did you like some of the action set pieces? Or did you think they were underwhelming? Do you think Spielberg can do better? Did you know what I mean? Because he does set up specific action scenes.
Yes.
And he wants you in. He wants you engaged, much like War of the Worlds.
Yes.
He wants to give you the blockbuster.
Absolutely. I just feel like all those action sequences, because they were being driven by the cops on their tail or this organization on their tail.
Vehicles, yeah.
And it's like, but they never catch him once. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? There's not even of a subversion of our expectations in these type of things. I was just like, wow, this is like, again, bland, really bland. Folks, I can't really talk about spoilers in this. I feel like we've done a decent job at dodging some bullets here.
Yeah.
But the bombshell of this, I'm sorry, it's not big enough. It's not strange enough to be worth it. It's not as strange as I feel like the trailers were letting on to be. The fact that the truth and what's causing Emily Blunt's psychic powers are kind of two different things. It's a misstep in the writing. I feel like they really just should have been a little bit tighter there. Much like Close Encounters, though, this aims to examine humanity's many possible reactions to the truth you can't take back. And to be fair, this tries to bridge a lot of intellectual takes with that. Talk about religion. We talk about power dynamics. We talk about, there's a little bit of like a World War III plot in the background of just like destabilization. Is it a tip too far? Destiny, the belief in a messiah, all of that is in play here. And if anything, that's where I could kind of get with the film and the story of just like, all right, you're trying to make it a little heady, a little brainy, as far as the story goes.
Yeah. I'm sorry, but what did you think about how that, even the religious side of it? I was like, this is so basic.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I was thinking. Like,
I was just glad they asked the question, maybe, or challenge these characters.
I know, yeah, but we have to ask for more from that because it's a Spielberg film. Like, I did think some of that was generic. I mean, even the apocalyptic type thing, World War III, and what people do and freaking
just,
out.
Like, weird. In
I
the
thought
background.
that was pretty weak.
Yeah,
I thought the disclosing. I thought the way that information was was shoveled out. I have to be careful about my wording here. Some of the presentation of the facts or things or conspiracy theories were that's like I'll piggyback off you, small scale and weak.
I agree.
Like weak tea.
I grew up my own point. No, that's all right.
But something that shocked me, and we're talking like towards the end of the film, that what Spielberg we've come to love is just like he gives us it. I'm shocked how much he does give us in Close Encounters towards the end. I mean, really shocked he doesn't hold back. And with this, it seems flat to me. And so that's why I left a little bit disappointed. Again, still liking the film. But it was the last half an hour where we're not getting the slam bam finish I think he thinks and kept things that they're giving us.
Yeah, true. I think on your point of the information piece, when I call this a little tone deaf, I feel like it's how the story relates to the topic of a world-changing truth and the current reality of information. I'm sorry, our characters need to break this information to the world, on a local Kansas City news channel? That's the method we choose? I don't exactly want to call this out of touch, but almost like Running Man from last year, it's like, you mean to tell me there's nothing with a little bit more bite here?
Yeah.
There's nothing with a little bit more bite? No AI, nothing about maybe like the numbness to information, no skew, spin, or denial of the info. Like, that's where I kind of mean like it needed a rearrangement of this script, whether it's in the edit or in the writing process. I needed a reshuffling of Disclosure Day to be second act or even earlier. You know what I mean?
I think if this came out in the year 2012, this would be bonkers and unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's just 10 years, 15 years too late. And it's not a bad film, in my opinion. It's not a bad film, but it's just not that sometimes bleeding edge or stuff that gives us that wow factor.
Yeah.
Because there is a film, even to the point where it is dealing with local cable stuff. Again, we're just out of that. Come 2014, we're kind of over it.
Yeah.
And it's on the down slope. But
it feels like that's rooted in the story. It's like she's the character Emily Blunt plays is a weather girl. So it's just like this arc to get us to news stations and that being the method for some of this disclosure is like. This was the trajectory for the entire film, and I feel like there was nothing smarter or sharper ever considered for it. I also want to give a counterexample to what I'm saying. I didn't need this to be like Eddington or Begonia, where it's like, whoa, this is like so so up to date on the modern environment of information and the internet and whatnot. But again, I'm surprised there was just nothing a little bit more biting there.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to say here and just say I agree with you, but I do agree with this. Yes.
Yeah. Let's talk about performances, though, because I'm with you.
Please.
I agree. Emily Blunt was really great. It's universally, I feel like, where the film has received the most praise. While at first I was watching this, I was like, oh my God, my nightmare came true. It's just the second act madness for the entire movie. It's just her going crazy. I do think she was really good in this. Better than Josh O'Connor, better than Colin Firth. Why am I forgetting? Coleman Domingo.
I thought Colin Firth was all right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I thought he was fine as that guy.
Yeah, I guess these other roles are just fine. Emily Blunt is just the only standout,
Yeah, and because even like Josh O'Connor, I mean, I'm going to talk about piggybacking because The Ringer and Bill Simmons has been hitting this hard.
Okay.
Just like hating how American films are being just swallowed up and gobbled up by these non-American actors.
Oh, okay, interesting.
But look at the top cast. I mean, Emily Blunt, Josh O'Connor, Colin Firth, even Josh O'Connor's girlfriend in it, played by Eve Hewson. She's Irish.
Oh, really?
So
I
it's
didn't
just
know.
a bunch of Brits, and then you have this Irish chick, and then you have to wait until we get to Wyatt Russell and Coleman Domingo are the first. That's
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I did not like him in this.
No, me neither. I didn't like him in it either.
I heard some praise for him in this. I was like, what are
absolutely
you
not.
talking
Yeah,
about?
no,
I don't think he's
definitely
a good actor at all.
But anyway, yeah. So our four main leads are all non-American, which is interesting. But Emily Blunt is crushing it. She has this one scene where she kind of having a panic attack. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
What I don't like isn't her fault. It comes down to the writing.
Yes.
Which when she gets into her crazy spells or she knows stuff and she goes into it, the way it's used is so cheap.
Yes.
And so quick and so often where it's like, all right, well, that solves a lot of problems for us. And I mean, it's just this magic wand that kind of Captain Spielberg used to keep the movie going and talk about lowering the stakes.
Yep.
It just breaks out this secret weapon at any time, and it's the most convenient thing ever.
Phenomenal, Tom. That's where I was going to ask you to read my notes because phenomenal. What it was for me, the same aspect of Blunt's not the problem. It's
Right.
the character writing of this. A lot of these big moments with her, they feel like Limitless from 2011. They feel like Lucy from 2014, where it's slightly cringy at times of just how much they just know everything and it moves the plot along. And
Yes.
it's I don't know. I feel like there's a different way to shoot these type of scenes. There's a great scene where Emily Blunt comes across a character that kind of has all the knowledge she needs to have, and specifically she looks away from him and says something like, "Oh, I can't know all the answers yet." I'm just like, "What?" So now it's even we have a hard emergency break on where this story should reasonably go, and maybe accelerate, Nail on the head, Tom, of just the problem is in the acting here, and if anything, the acting is quite good.
I think
It's
she's-
the character is really poorly written and really cliche.
Right,
for-
and you just expect more coming out of this team.
Yeah.
But Emily Blunt, I mean, really is doing very, very well.
Yeah.
Again, when she has that panic attack, that's when
That's
I
a
was
good
just
point.
like, wow, she's doing a good job
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
And I really appreciate it. It was a great kind of, one-shot take for a couple minutes
Yes.
towards the beginning of the film. Very, very well done. Very good on Spielberg for that. But she's just a pro. She's one of my favorite actresses, big time.
Absolutely, absolutely, and really, ultimately, folks, the silver lining here. There's so much of this film that again I was just I almost wanted to root for it. I almost wanted to see it a second time to just give it a real fair shake. Not that there wasn't a fair shake the first time watching it, but I just think there's just so much here that I would want to either rearrange or re-edit or in the concept phase do something more exciting with it.
Definitely.
And even to the point that maybe there is some expectation at play, because I feel like my imagination of what the movie we're going to get from those first trailers, I thought was drastically different. I really did think it was drastically different than, ultimately a bombshell that is kind of not that much of a bombshell.
You wanted to be more scared.
I want to be more scared. I want to be definitely more strange.
Yes.
It's,
Yes.
it's her talking, the clicking and whatnot. and
Yeah.
I wanted that to be more the center of the strangeness of what's happening, Oddly enough, I think the movie we left out this week, once again, Minority Report, it feels like it would have been a good pair with this one, especially for how the plot is filled with big chase sequences
Yep.
and secrets to whistleblow. It's also got some very similar action scenes as well. A train action sequence really reminded me of Minority Report 2. Honestly, I think if the story was reshuffled, once again, either in the edit or the writing, to have pivotal scenes, or the pivotal scene of disclosure, come much earlier in the runtime, we would have had a film that I think is just 10 times more interesting. Instead of characters waxing poetic about the implications of what such a world-changing truth would do, we would actually see those implications unfold in front of us. But with the version we got, I just genuinely, I don't see how the final moments of this film could muster anything more than a, okay, sure, I guess. Like I said, I'm real torn on the score here.
Wow. Still thinking about it.
I really am. I'm looking at 3 scores right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't want to be like that.
How big is your range?
I'll tell you this.
Okay.
It's either a 53, a 46, or a 39.
Okay.
I think it's a 46.
This is the first time on the podcast that we're doing this.
That we're just workshopping the score.
This isn't a 39%.
No, okay, good. I'm glad you said
must
that.
have been, you were in a...
I was mad.
Yes.
Someone came mutiny. I was like, this is a disappointment.
I
I think a 46, because I really, it's not that it's a bad movie, but I feel like there's no reality I watch this again, and there's no reality I really recommend it either.
I disagree with that.
Okay.
I like this movie more than you.
Okay.
Yeah, I do. I like this more than you because I think there's enough still.
You did say you'd watch it again on when it comes on streaming.
I would, and not
is that for Emily Blunt or
no? Because it's still a movie and it's got the because it's got the action beats.
Okay.
I do like Emily Blunt. It's kind of like I like the content. The thing is, like, even though I've seen it before and I know all this stuff that's being talked about, it's just packaged differently, and I don't mind that.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. What my disappointment of it isn't that, like, oh, well, I hate the film, I'm disappointed. It's just like, man, he didn't give us a slam bam film, and I'm disappointed by that. And it's not really close to that either.
Yeah.
It's just another one of these things now that we have within this subject matter.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So, but I do want to watch it again. I think there is some interesting things, and I didn't mind Colin Firth, and I guess that's it. I'm in the puddle. I mean, it's safe to say I'm in the 53, 55-ish puddle. I mean, definitely. Yeah. But I have to say, when it comes to recommending it, I would recommend it because just look at the split online. There are people who are liking it. There are people who are just like, whatever, which is kind of what you are.
That's true.
There is a split. So in a way, it's like, well, no, definitely you go see it and you kind of, what do you feel about it?
Yeah. Yeah.
And who are you as a person? How much do you know? How much you don't? I don't want to, people's minds are actually being blown by this, I don't want to rob them of that.
That's a very good point. Right. Because it's what do they say? Not yuck someone's yum or something like that. Yeah. You know what I mean? There's not a degree of just like, oh, you really like this? Actually, it's a shit movie. You know? No, it's like, I'm not about that either. Well, I think I am leaning in the middle. We'll say it for posterity. Disclosure Day gets a 46%.
A 46%.
Thank you for workshopping that with me.
Yeah, first ever on the podcast. You never give me that kind of latitude.
I was truly, truly torn on this. And again, you see that 39 illustrates of just like how much like my
angry.
blood was boiling with like the conflict. Kept like write a better script. You know you can do this. I know you can do this. You know
he just works constantly, so he just had so much time. So when you walked out of the theater, this was the 39. That was your first score you gave it.
Maybe not. I honestly I just didn't know. And again, there became a point of like as I was marinating on this film and contemplating seeing it again, it was just kind of like I almost wanted to just like throw it all in my notes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, it was just like, oh man, like if the results aren't worth it, then what is the building blocks? You know? Right.
No, so. I totally agree with that. And it is again 2 hours and 25 minutes. It is when you get above that, it is a film you have to sit down for. Like, you have to dedicate yourself to this movie.
Yep.
Okay, it's 46% for Disclosure Day. Man, oh man. We're at the end of the podcast here, Vin. Any other notes? How do you feel about the week? I mean...
Sorry, Steven Spielberg. Love you.
And we've loved some stuff that we've covered of his in the past. And the cool thing is there's plenty more to cover.
Yeah.
There's films that I'm excited to see. They've kind of been waiting.
The other one that we didn't mention with like all the Spielberg we covered is the Jurassic Park episode. Same thing.
Oh, absolutely. Of course.
So I think we've got a good amount.
We do actually have a decent amount of Spielberg in there. All right.
Next week, real quick. It's easy. Toy Story 5 spot. It's 1 through 5. I'm going to try to really keep reviews short because I don't genuinely know how much I really have to say about these movies.
Okay.
Even though it's Toy Story.
Yep.
But I've only seen 1 and 2.
Movies. Okay.
Never seen 3, never seen 4.
So. Oftentimes, this is known as one of the better trilogies ever made. Okay. Toy Story 1 through 3.
Yep. That's the Tarantino take, right?
Yeah, but it's not. But like that's a big take for a lot of people.
Okay.
He refuses to watch 4, thinking that the 3 are kind of perfect together. And I have some thoughts on 4.
Oh, okay. Right. Oh, yes. I remember you having some feelings.
I have been waiting. Yeah.
I'll leave some bandwidth for a rant.
You should. You should leave me bandwidth for 4. Excellent. I've been waiting to cover this on the podcast.
Excellent.
Since we started the podcast.
Wow.
Basically.
Okay. Fantastic.
Yeah, I've got thoughts on 4.
I think I'm more excited now to cover them.
And we can be quick with some of the reviews because they are kid films, after all. I mean,
exactly.
There might be a little bit rinse and repeat of what we praise, what we don't like.
Yeah.
But it'll be fun. I'm excited for this. Like, I'm actually been looking forward to it a decent amount.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to 1 just because you look at some screenshots of Toy Story 1, it's like, oh boy, that's
animation.
CGI,
yeah.
If there's ever a case for a Disney remaster, you know what I mean? It's probably Toy Story 1. But at the same time, I'm hoping my takeaway of rewatching the film for like first time since forever is that it does hold up and it's so creative enough that it overcomes maybe its limitations in its visuals.
Yeah.
So that's my hope.
Yeah, and I'm just excited because, I've seen 1 through 4, but so sporadically. I watched 4 when it was kind of new, but I never went back and watched. I can't tell you the one when I watched these last.
Yeah,
you know what
real.
I mean? So get in touch with our inner kid here a little bit. I guess we have to see this together. I don't know. The creep factor might be there in the theater. But actually, that's not true. There's going to be a lot of 30.
Eating this up.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of 30, 40-year-olds there.
Yeah,
okay, we're good.
What kid actually even knows Toy Story anymore?
Oh.
You know?
I can't believe it's next week already. I can't believe.
That's what I'm saying. We're in the swing of, like, we talked about early on in the year of just like, it's going to pick up. We're in the pickup.
So 5 movie slot next week, all Toy Stories. Woo, boy. Wow. All right, Vin. Thank you so much for all the Spielberg talk today, for your notes, for stopping by this evening. And folks at home, we'll run it down one more time. We've got Close Encounters of a Third Kind with a 68%, E.T. the Extra-Terrestrial with a 55%, War of the Worlds with a 70%, that's this week's best, and then we have Disclosure Day with a 46%. As always, folks, it is a blast week after week hanging out with you. I will be right back here on Tuesday for the news show, and to infinity and beyond.
Oh, wow.
We got Vincent Daly here covering all 5 Toy Stories next week, folks. So it's always a blast. We'll see you next Thursday on the Daily Ratings Podcast. And hey, if you enjoyed the podcast, if you would, give us a good rating or get the word out and tell a friend about us. And just a reminder that the Daily Ratings is completely producer-supported. We want to stay away from advertising, and we don't want to have any paywalls or tier structures or subscriptions. It's all just value for value. So, are you finding value in what we're doing here at the Daily Ratings? Then become a producer and donate whatever amount of value that is. Just go to the donations tab on thedailyratings.com, and while you're there, be sure to check out the massive amount of films that Vince has rated. So thanks so much, everybody. We'll see you next time on the Daily Ratings Podcast.